You're getting a bit of that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool?
That's
okay.
cool.
Okay.
Okay.
And you need the audio too? Will you get the audio?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
it.
Do we have to speak loudly so that it gets recorded?
I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're good. Okay, little do go first. Okay, so what did you want to do when you grew up?
Actually, when at the age of 9 and 10, I thought I wanted to be an air stewardess because I wanted to travel. And then when I actually started to travel, because I used to live in one country and I used to go to school in another country, so I used to travel back and forth. And then I would see them, then I realized, no, I don't think I want to be an air stewardess. I didn't like the job very much. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, so that being an air stewardess was being out, and I wanted to travel, and I had really no idea as to how to go about doing what I wanted to do. So just to travel and to see the world. And then I went to school. I loved reading books. So I thought, let me study something which is about books. So I did English literature in university level. So I did English literature, then I got into writing, just out of habit, writing for magazines.
Yeah.
First starting out with the school magazine, and then the college magazine, and then some magazines, then the newspaper columns, the Sunday Town columns, started writing for that. So just, small little bit of that. And then again, I didn't know what to do with my life. Did I want to be a journalist, or did I just want to write for fun, or what I wanted to do? I did not know. And it so happened that it was a total accident. There was a war in the Gulf, and then, we got caught in it, and then we came to India to live. And at that point of time, the university admissions had closed. I didn't know what to do with myself, and there was just one course and one school just still, going through the admission processes in the month of May and June. So I applied for it, and that was a film school. And it was a complete accident. I had no idea what I wanted to do, because that was the only place which was still open, and I just applied for it. And then I really wanted to be a filmmaker. And I think I found myself what I wanted to do at the age of 20.
Nice.
Till the age of 20, I was like, wasn't very sure of what I wanted to do. But it always had to be something which I liked doing, which was like reading books or writing. And then filmmaking became an extension of reading and writing, or writing with a different kind of pen. Because a camera is a different kind of pen. It's not the pen that you use in school. It's a different pen which makes you think differently, with a different syntax, as you say. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Okay, so, let's see. Where were you born?
I was born in India.
Nice.
And I was raised in Kuwait.
Awesome.
So born in one place, grew up in another place, and go to school in a different place, and go to college in a different place, all over.
So you traveled a lot.
Yes, I traveled by accident again. I wanted to travel, but I traveled by accident, because if my father's job took us everywhere, he didn't stay in one place. So, and then I think that's why. But I wanted to see the world. I wanted to go to Africa. And that was my dream place. I wanted to go to Africa, and I still haven't been to Africa. I've been everywhere, but I haven't been to Africa. I haven't been to Africa.
Okay.
What challenges or diversity did you face?
Couple, because you see, I always belonged to one culture, and I lived in another. And then when I became acquainted with the other culture, I had to come back to the culture that I belonged to. So, it was this transitions between peoples and places and cultures and ways of life that were at times challenging, because sometimes you find it hard to make friends because you have different ways of doing things, and people find that strange at times, that, you become different. And when you're younger, differences are sometimes difficult to address. Children are not very good at understanding that.
Sure.
But when you grow up, that difference becomes actually your plus point. Because then you say, oh, I'm this, and I'm different. And that becomes sometimes your selling point, and you can take advantage of it. But as a child, it was difficult, to constantly move between languages. I spoke a different language, I went to a culture which spoke a different language, and then, and the ways of life. So, dealing with different cultures was, I would say, a little bit of a challenge.
How many languages do you speak?
4.
Oh. Can you name them?
I speak English, of course. Most fluently, I speak English. I speak my native language, which is Urdu. I speak French, and I speak Arabic.
Awesome.
And I also speak one other Indian language, which is Hindi, which is actually sounds just like my Urdu, but it's like the scripts are different, so
Okay.
but in syntax wise it's the same.
What exactly do you teach?
I teach courses in media and cultural studies. Now that is a course that looks at how media industries. Now you have to look at media as an industry. It's a business like any other business. But this business, which is there to make profit and to make money, is so deeply implicated, is so deeply, I would say, I don't want to use a big word, it's so deeply, I would say, integrated with society. It affects society much more than any other business. So I try and analyze how this profit-making work creates the dominant ways of thinking, we know that it's nice to be slim, and it's nice to have straight hair, and all of us have curly hair, wavy. So all of those ideas come to us from media, and they become like almost more important than anything we may think about ourselves. So I try and understand how is it that this happens. How is it that a business which is there to make profit can dictate to us how to think, how to dress, what to believe, what we know about our worlds, everything comes to us from media. And the fact that we spend so much time with media, I try and understand that. And I teach different courses which deal with different aspects of this problem.
Did you feel like you ever
Did
wanted
you
to give
understand
up?
what I said?
Yes, it is. Did you feel like you ever wanted to give up on everything?
Oh yes, lots of times.
Yeah.
It happens lots of times. You just give up because, and that when that happens and you want to give up, it's actually oftentimes the moments when you're tired, when you haven't been following a good routine, that you haven't been sleeping properly, you haven't been eating properly, you have taken toll on your health, and I think those factors are very, very important. That you should eat properly, that you should sleep properly, that you should have a routine. Sometimes you don't because you get overwhelmed, you take on too much work, so you cut out on your sleep, you miss out on your meals, and then that compounds up and makes you depressed because you can't cope, and then when you can't cope, you want to give up, and then you just go to sleep. You want to give up, just go to sleep. Okay, sleep for 2 days if you feel like it. Sleep for 2 days, and believe me, you get up feeling much better. And you don't want to give up. Sometimes you're just tired.
I like you.
Sweet.
Since we're still young and we kind of don't know which way we want to go in our life, what's a piece of advice you would give us?
Follow your heart. But to follow your heart, you have to be an independent person who thinks for herself. You shouldn't be a person who listens to X and listens to Y and listens to Z and then forms opinions about herself and her life and the world that she lives in, depending on what other people are saying. And that's what I mean by media. So much is coming to you from X, Y, and Z that you sometimes don't process that information. You don't think, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this true? Is this or is this false? You need to keep thinking. Keep thinking as to who you are. What is it that you like? What is it that you want to do? Be analytical about your own decisions and about your own ideas and your own thoughts. And when you are analytical, believe me, something within you guides you and tells you this is what you want. But before you know what you want, you have to know yourself. Be extremely honest with yourself. And I would say, be critical, be aware as to if I'm watching this show, if I'm into Kim Kardashians, you need to ask yourself, why am I into Kim Kardashians? And you need to figure that out. And you need to figure that. So once you figure it out, you need to see, is this good, is this bad? Okay, and then where is it going to lead me? Start thinking about yourself seriously. And I think that's one piece of advice I would give you, because to become an independent person is one of the most difficult tasks in the world today. Because,
it really is.
There's so much pressure on you. There's X telling you about this, and there's Z telling you this, and everybody telling you something. But you never stop and think, what is my heart telling me? And what is myself telling myself? And those are the questions that you need to be asking yourself, I think, very often. And that's one piece of advice I would give you. Because once you start being honest with yourself and being clear to yourself, then life was, into place.